said we have quadratic equation. Quadratic equation. That's the topic of the day. What is a quadratic equation? People are just joining. They're just joining. What is a quadratic equation? A quadratic equation is an equation which has highest power of 2. Most of the time it has which has the highest power of 2. Most of the time we have 3 terms. It's usually have what? 3 terms. And those terms are, the 3 terms I'm talking about are x squared term, we have x term, and a constant. What's the meaning of this? For example, something like this, we have x squared minus 3x plus 2. Another example we have here is 2x squared minus 7x. Then we have plus 3. It's not composed as to only be plus minus here. It can be like this. 3x squared plus, let's say we have 10x, then plus 3. So things like these are called quadratic equation. Now let's take this x squared minus 3x plus 2. This one that is called x squared here is called the x squared term. The x squared term is used to represent anything that has x squared. So this one is x term. Why this is a constant? A constant is that number written without x attached to it. Without x attached to it. So that is x squared term and x term. Now x squared term, you always see it with x squared. X term, you always see x at the end. Constants will not have anything like x. So that is how to identify what we mean by what? By quadratic equation. Now here, we want to see another example. Let's see whether that we really understand it. Look at 2x squared minus 3x plus 2. This one is taken to be what? Together like this. Is taken to be x squared term. This one here, minus 3x, is what? X term. Why this one is a constant. Now, what can we do with this equation? What can we do with it? We have special things that we do with this equation. Many things can be done with it. And that is where we are going now. That's where we are going now. Now let's go to that. Quadratic equation can be solved. Quadratic equation can be solved in many ways, but I will only discuss the only part that we can use. Quadratic equation has 4 methods that we use for it. 4 methods used there. Number 1 is factorization, which we are going to be looking at today. Number 2 is completing the square method. Completing the square method. Completing the square method. Number 3 is quadratic equation method. Formula to say quadratic equation formula. Then the number 4th one is the graphical method. Graphical method. Now we are taking factorization method. Factorization method. How do we factorize? That is where we are going now. Take it one by one. How do we factorize? How do we factorize? It's quite easy. I'll give us step by step towards the solution. Steps taken to factorize any quadratic equation. That's step 1. Find the product. Find the product of x squared and the constant x squared and the constant. We find the product. That's the first thing there. Second thing, step 2.
Come here, borrow that cylinder.
Yes, step 2 now. Step 2 is to find the two factors of the products Sorry, it's not right. Another thing. So, of the products that can replace the X term. Now, we are going for the third step. All the the steps will be followed one by one to factorize today. And you will see that from today on, you won't have any issue. Oh, someone said that she can't hear me. I believe you can all hear me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's continue. Please, Precious, work on your mic.
No, sir, I can hear you now.
Okay, that's good. Step 3. Step 3 is, how do you now find the factors? This will be divided into 2. A, if the product is positive, the factors must, remember to go on, have same sign, the same sign. 2 must add up to the third, to the X term. The big part here is if the product is negative. If the product is negative, the factors must, remember the one, have different signs. Different signs. Second one is they must subtract to give us subtract to give the x term. I need to add here. That is the sign of the x term. Here, the higher factor takes the sign of the x term. That's it. Now we go to step 4. Replace the x term with the what? With the two factors. With the two factors. Then the last thing, step 4, step 5, factorize in 2's. So these are the things we'll be using our manual for factorization. Now let's take first aspect so that you can be happy. So the first aspect here is we want to look at example now. Example 1. Example 1. We want to factorize x squared minus 7x plus 12. What do? We take the first rule. The first step says that find the product of x squared term and what? And the x and the constant. That is, we come here, take this and plus this 12. The answer gives us plus 12x squared. Next thing is to do what? Step 2. Find the two factors of the product that can replace the x term. But they told us in the third case that if the product is positive, the factor must have the same sign and add up to the x term. So they must have the same sign with the what? The x term. So let's go there. It's now positive. So we are looking for two things. They said the two factors must add up to give us the x term. And we should give them the same sign since the product is what? Is positive. The product is positive. They have the same sign. So how do you do this? The first thing you do is draw a line like this. Then you divide it like this. Here you have the factors. Here you have sum. You see this 12 here. We've been told that the two of them must have the same sign, and that's the sign of this minus 7 here. So just put your minus here and your minus here. When you now look at 12, you start with 1. Instead of writing 1, because there will be x with it, you can write 1x, write x here. Then 12x squared divided by x, or you just say 12 divided by 1. Since here bears 1, but it's not written, it's invisible. You have 12 here, x again. When you add this together, minus x or 1 plus 12 will give you 13. Minus x minus 12x will give you minus 13x. We have not gotten our desired answer. We now go again to use what can go. Another factor. We use 1 here, but we didn't write the 1 because it should be invisible. Minus 2x. These 2 here, use it to divide the 12 again, you have 6. So here will be minus, just like I said, 6x. 2 plus 6 is 8. They have minus 8x here. Then we go to another value. Times 3 go, yes. Minus 3x. 12 divided by 3, we have 4. Minus 4x. 3 plus 4 is 7. They both have minus, that will be minus 7x. So this is where we are going. These two factors. We now go there to replace that guy, minus 7x squared. 7x. So we are adding what? X squared. Instead of minus 7x, we are writing two things there. Minus 3x minus 4x has taken the position of minus 7. Then we say plus 12 here. Now the last rule says that you do what? You factorize in pairs. You take these two together, these two together, and these two together. How do you do that? The first two pair, x squared and minus 3x. This one is quite easy. What is common? X is common. Take x out. Then what do you get? What you get in the bracket is the division of what you have there before. X squared divided by x. This cancel this. You are left with x. So you write x inside the brackets. You have minus 3x. Minus 3x divided by x. This cancel this. The answer is minus 3. So the answer is what? Minus 3. Then we are left with these two minus 4x plus 12. The rule here is that after factorizing the first two pair, the second two pair, the sign you see after that one is what you write. Minus is what appears there, you write minus. 4 and 12, what is common? 4. 4 can divide 12, so that's why we write 4 here. What will be the bracket? You take minus 4x divided by minus 4. Minus cancel minus, give us plus. 4 cancel 4, you have x. Because x is starting, we are not writing plus x there, we are writing ordinary x. Then we have plus 12 over minus 4. Minus over plus over minus is minus. 4 here 1, 4 here 3. You have minus 3 here. So that is why we are having minus 3 here. But the rule that you always get is that anytime you see minus outside, it will change the sign of what is coming. Minus 4 is coming, it changes to plus x. This plus 12 is changed to minus. Then, once you now have that, you are through with your work. So the end of the whole story, this guy and this guy are common. You take one out, one bracket out. Then you open another bracket. What is outside the bracket here? You write it out, x. Then minus 4 is outside the bracket here, 4 here. That is the final answer. We have done what? We have factorized just like that. Next thing here is what? Let's take something that will be different so that we can have something serious to work with. Let's say we have 5y squared plus so we now have plus 11y, then minus 12. Minus 12. The rule is, we do what? We multiply these with y squared. Now, you know the rule says that multiply the x squared term with the constant. The x squared is just used to represent all letters. It can be any letter. So in this case now we are having what? Minus 12, minus 60. Y squared. The next thing is to find the factors. Factors that will work with us. With minus 60, we have factors here written. And here we have sum. With this, if you go by rule 3, this thing will end by 10 minutes time. We might not notice when it goes off. Please, you log in back so that we can continue the class. The rule again, the third rule says that if the product, that's A, if the product is negative, the factors must have different signs. But the higher factor takes the sign of the x term. So let's go there. The higher factor takes the sign of the x term. That means the higher factor is 11. So if I use the style of minus A, I'll put plus A. I know my higher factor will be A. So we start with 1, just like I did the other time. But we'll say 1y, it is ordinary y. 60 divided by 1 is going to give you 60. Then you put your y there. 60 now is minus y plus 60y. It's like 60y minus y. That is plus what? 59y. Let's take 2. Minus 2y. 60 divided by 2 is what? 30. This will be minus plus 30y. 30y minus 2y will give you plus 28y. Then let's go again. We have not achieved our 11y. Let's go to 3. 3 can still go. 3. 60 divided by 3 will give you 20 plus 20y. That is, add again 20 minus 3 will give you plus 17y. Then again, 4 minus 4y. 60 divided by 4 will give you plus 15y. And that will give you plus 11y. So we have achieved our goal now. And these are the 2 factors that we need. In essence, to now factorize, we'll say that 5y squared, oh, this is minus 4y, minus, oh, plus 11y, minus 12, will now be written as 5y squared minus 4y plus 15y minus 12. Now to factorize into 2, 2 like that. I want to take them 2, 2. What do we do here? 2, 2, just like I said. 2 by 2. 2 by 2. That will give us what's common here. Only y is common, number not common. Take your y here. Divide again. 5y squared divided by y. Y cancel one of the y. The answer is 5y. Write 5y here. Then you take minus 4y. Minus 4y divided by y. Y cancel y. You have minus 4. And that will give you 5y minus 4. Then what is common? 15 and 12. Common factor. We have plus a. Take plus 3. You know, remember I told you that after factorizing the 2, what comes at the number is what you factorize. So now 15 and 12. What's common? That is 4. I mean, that is what? 3. 3a. So we now have 15y divided by 3, which is 5y still. 5y still. So we go there with the bracket, 5y, then we take minus 12 again, divided by 3, give us minus 4 still. If they don't give us the brackets are not the same, that means you have not done justice to the work. Now let's go, take one bracket. These must be the same. 5y minus 4, then y outside here will be in brackets, plus what is outside here, plus 3. So with this, we have factorized it. We have 4 minutes left for this thing to go off, as it will go off naturally. So we log in back. Now I want to give us bonus. Bonus. Apart from scissors rule, there's a special rule that I use most of the time, especially for OBJ. Without wasting time, I will get my answer. Don't ask me why. Just listen and you will get it right. I call it scissors rule. Scissors rule. How do we do this? We have x squared minus 7x plus 12. I will just come one corner like this and draw this. Draw this. Draw this. So up here, I need two factors. I will give them x. X there means that you multiply everything here. The x as what is in front of x here is 1. I will write 1 there. Then here, I have positive 12. This thing told me that since it is positive here, this place will be something I will add. They will have the same sign. Then I will have minus here. Minus here. This one has nothing but 1, 1. Factor of 1, what I can multiply with 1 and to give me 1 is 1. They are what? 1 and 1. So I write 1x, 1 times x, x. This one, 1 times x again, x. Don't forget, we are working with this x because it is x squared, really. Now here, I need two factors. I will give it 3 times 4 because I know where I'm going. I know that I'm going to 7. What can I add? Multiply together to give me 12. Add together to give me 4. To give me 7 is 3 and 4. Add it like this. Extend this down for you to see the magic. The scissors we are talking about now is like this. This scissors multiplication. X times that guy. X times this guy. You now see what it will give us. This minus 3x minus 4x give us minus 7x. Then, once you have achieved that, make sure that your factor you get here can be added to give you 7. So you bracket this, bracket this, bracket this, bracket this. The answer is x minus 3, x minus 4. Wow! The answer got in without stress. Second one that we did just now. Let's see how that one will comply with what? With our scissors rule. It says that 5y squared plus 11y minus 12. We come here again with what? Y of the y up here, the coefficient of y squared here, we take y there because we y times y later. So is 5. Y here, we have minus 12. So here we are using definitely what can multiply 5. What two things can multiply to give you 5 will be 1 times y, 1 times 5, 5y. So here, what do we now have? It remains 1 minute. After 1 minute, it will log you out automatically, then you come back in. So now here, because I'm thinking of, okay, let's go back to the class. Just like we've been on it. Okay, you're welcome back. Now, where we stopped the other time, that we take our y here from the y squared, then we take this 5 here, put it there. You come in place, you move yourself, you move. Who is still making a noise there? More than this one is making noise there. Okay, now, after taking that, we come to this minus 12 here. Minus is up here, 12 down here. Two factors that we need now. But the two factors must be such that the higher value will be positive, because the middle term is positive. The lower value will be negative. Don't get me wrong. Here will be positive plus 3. Why is it like that? Because I know that by the time I multiply, I'll be getting higher value. Times minus 4. Don't forget, your sign will be different here. Different signs because we have negative here. Plus times minus will give you minus. Then scissors multiply it again. Scissors here. Then the second one here. So the product we are getting here, when you multiply this guy and this guy, you have minus 4y. This times this plus 15y. Our answer is plus 11y. So now we bracket this, bracket this, bracket this, bracket this. Take the brackets one by one. The first bracket is what? Y plus 3 and 5y minus 4. Can you see that this is the shortcut to the normal routine that we've been doing? This is the normal routine that I gave you the rule. These rules given. That is, you find the products. This is for the theory. The second one I gave you is for the OBJ. That you solve the sharp. This one is for theory. I want to show all the workings. Though the second one you can still use it, but you write using scissors rule. By then, the teacher will be learning new system of solving quadratic equation. Is that okay? Now, with this, I believe you can solve anything called quadratic equation. Let me do a recap of what we've done so far. The first thing we started with is, what is a quadratic equation? Quadratic is an equation which has the highest power of 2. Then it usually has what? 3 terms. S squared term, x term, and a constant. S squared term is used to represent any letter that is squared. So for instance, x squared minus 3x plus 2. S squared term here, it means x squared. X term in this one is minus 3. Then the constant is without a letter is plus 2. After that, the next thing is, how do we factorize? Or we look at another one. The second one that I use as example is 2x squared minus 3x plus 2. 2x squared is x squared term here. Minus 3x is what? The x term. Why the constant is the 2. Way of solving quadratic equation, format, factorization, completed square method, quadratic equation formula, that is the one they call magic formula. Then the graphical method. Now, if it is factorization, that is what we discussed today. The rule are these: find the product of x squared term and the constant, find two factors that will replace the x term. How do you do that? If the product is positive, the factors must have the same sign. If the product is positive, the factors must add together to give us the x term, having the same sign with the x term. If the product is negative, they must have different signs, but the higher factor takes the sign of the x term. So we now subtract to get what? To give us the what? The x term. Then you replace the x term with two factors and factorize the twos. Now we factorize the first one. The first equation factorized is this. That's x squared minus 7x plus 12. You write a factor when you multiply first product plus 12x squared. Once it is positive, you know they must have the same sign. That's why I have negative, negative here. Bearing the sign of what? Of this guy here. This minus 7x. Someone is making a noise there. Someone is making a noise. Perhaps the person that just entered now. Oh, I know. Okay. Can I continue? Now, minus, how did we get this? You start with 1 and this 12. 12 divided by 1 will give you 12. Since we have decided that they have the same sign, since they are positive, minus minus for the sign of this one, of this middle term. So 12 divided by 1 is 12. We put 12 here also. Here is 1x, 12x. But 1 will not appear because it must be what? Invisible in this case. Minus x minus 12x is minus 13x. Use 2 to divide again, you get minus 6x. Use 3 to divide, you get what? Minus 4x. So by the time you add them together, you get what? Minus 8. Since we now achieve our minus 7x, we will replace this minus 7x with minus 3x and minus 4x. Factorize. I do not factorize, you take them two like this. Don't bracket yet. Take x squared and minus 3x. What is common? X. How do you get it? When you write x outside, you use to divide the two of them. X squared divided by x here, give you x. You write the x here. Minus 3x divided by x, you have minus 3. Then you write it here. Close the bracket. Immediately after the bracket, what you see there is what you write as the sign. Here is negative. Negative will come here. It must change the sign here when it's going to the inside the bracket. Then you open bracket, minus 4x divided by minus 4, give us positive x. Minus plus 12x divided by minus 4, give us minus 3. So the two brackets must be the same. If they are not the same, you are doing beautiful nonsense. So now here, the next thing here is what? You take the bracket is same out. What is outside, you take them together. Those things that are outside, x minus 4 come together. The same thing we did with this 5y squared plus 11y multiply together to give you minus. But in this case, it's minus the product, the negative product. But this place is positive. The two factors that you get must be what? One will be negative, one will be positive because we have minus here. But the higher factor should be positive because the x term is positive. So that's why this place is 60, 30. What do we do? We use 1 to divide 60 to get 60. 2 to divide 60, get 30. 3 to divide 60 to get 20. 4 to divide 60 to get 15. Till we get our value here. Then we factorize just like we did for the last one. Now, the last thing we then did is the shortcut. Rather than going through the stress, is that when you have x squared here, just write your x up here. The factor in front or the product, the coefficient is 1. Put the 1 here. Then take this one, plus 12 up here. Now we have x for x here. Now, two factors of this 12 are minus 3 and minus 4. Is that okay? So multiply then x times minus 4, x times minus 3. You have minus 3x, then minus 4x. Take them together, give you minus 7x. Until you achieve this minus 7x. Why did I write minus and minus here? Because we have positive up here. So multiply together to give you positive. And why are we using, why the choice of positive, I mean negative and not positive? Because the middle term is negative. So we give them the sign of the middle term. So we have this, just bracket, you get your answer x minus 3, x minus 4, that's all. For this one, 5y squared, take your y up there, 5 down. Then this one can only have two factors, 1 and what? And 5. So that's why we have 5y and 5. I mean y, 1y and 5y. Of course, you know we can't write 1y. We write y because that one will be what? Will be giving us unnecessary stress. So we can't be writing 1y. It should be invisible. That one should be visible. So by the time you do that, come here. You will have two factors of this guy here that will give you minus 12. Plus and minus, now different signs. You use 3 here, 4 here. If you don't know what to use, first multiply and see whether you get 11. Positive 11. In this case now, 5 times 3 will give you 15. 1 times minus 4 will give you minus 4. 15 minus 4 will give you positive 11. So that is what we did here for scissors rule. Then you take the bracket like this, and we get our answer. Any question, please? Question?
No, sir.
No question? If there are no questions, this will be the end.
No, sir.
This will be the end of maths class, and we are shifting straight to physics class with immediate effect. Are we happy? Yes.
We're happy.
That we are
yes,
happy.
Sir.